Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Spiritual Spotlight series. Today, I am joined by Dawn Latwis. She is a cancer survivor who has changed her life with the angels and Akashic records to heal and create a new aligned life of joy. Through energy work and intuitive gifts, she helps her clients and students to create their dream lives that they desire. This is done by her identifying and clearing the limiting beliefs that are holding them back from creating a life that that makes their soul sing. I love all of that. Dawn, thank you so much for coming on Spiritual Spotlight series. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for having me. I'm so excited to talk about angels and Akashic and all our fun stuff.
I know, I love it. That's actually my business name, Akashic Angel. So I'm like, we will be in tune. That's perfect. So Dawn, again, welcome. Can you maybe tell us about the defining moment when you realized the power of Akashic ring angels? I'm talking about my business, Akashic Angels. No,
But it is, it's all together. It's
it's all together.
Akashic and
I love it.
angels.
I love the fact to talk to somebody about the Akashic records and angels because they're so pivotal together. And I think a lot of people who don't work in the records may not work with the angels. And I love that you do that. So let me re-ask this question. So can you maybe tell us about a moment that you realized the power of Akashic records and angels in your life, particularly with your cancer journey?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have always played with the angels. I love
Nice.
angels. They're my signature essence. I grew up Catholic and I still am Catholic, but
Yeah.
I'm much more in touch with my spirituality.
Yeah.
But when I went through cancer, I was also turning 50. Well, chemo was 50. So
Wow.
it was
Wow.
kind of funny, those like life things like, oh, it's the world's worst thing to turn 50. No, cancer was worse than
Yeah.
turning 50. And I had lived a life. I was a corporate executive, mid-level management, and all these different positions and that. And I had led a life that
Mm.
was a lot of shoulds. You
Yeah.
should do this. You should act this way. You should do blah blah blah. And then I went through the cancer and the chemo, and then turned 50, and all of it together. And I was like, holy crap! Life is like moving. It's like so close to death gives you a different set of eyes on
Yeah.
things. And so I had always brought the angel energy in, and I am a Reiki master for over 20 years now.
Nice.
So I've always been exposed to and played with stuff, but it was more in the closet and it was more at home, like on my own in the evening.
Right.
And then as I got through cancer and my life was obliterated, blown up,
Yes,
whatever.
absolutely.
And so when I went to start reconstructing my life, I
Mm,
was like, well, what am I bringing into it?
mm.
And there's one of those ladies on YouTube, and then she does this whole thing with clothes. Oh, does it bring you joy? Don't put it in
Oh,
your
yeah.
closet.
Marie Kondo.
Okay, yeah. And so that's kind of what I did with my life. I
Oh, I like
just
that.
started to only add things that brought me joy. Now, I brought in a lot of things that were old baggage
Mm, mhm.
and old ways that I thought were joy. And those soon fizzled for me because I didn't have the energy. I
Yeah.
didn't have the capacity for a whole lot. So I was trying to just fill my cup with really good things. So that was my incentive. And the angels have always been my saving grace.
I love that.
Yeah, I guess I'll quote my mother on this one. She's like, there's no atheist in foxholes.
That's very true.
It's
That's
like an
a
old
very
saying.
interesting saying. You're like, "Oh," because how many times when they're in their foxhole, they're like, "God, angels, universe, please help me."
There's even that new song too. Since we talked a little music, that one. Don't only I pray for a savior only when I need a favor. It's
Oh,
a rock
yeah.
song out there. But anyway, so I
Yeah.
realized at that point that it wasn't just me doing
Mm,
it because so many people die of cancer.
yes.
And I didn't die. And I wasn't that special that I did XYZ. I put a lot of extra effort into my physical health, but so did friends that, excuse me, that passed.
Oh.
So, what I learned then was my belief and
Mhm.
my faith and calling on the angels to help.
I
So,
love that.
they came to me, they would visit me, I would get them in meditation and dream,
Mm,
just all kinds of different experiences. So it was pivotal, it was life changing
yeah.
for me to say, okay, I'm gonna work
Yeah.
with these angels. This is the way.
That's amazing. So you speak of transforming your life into one that is joyous and aligned. What does an aligned life mean to you? And how did this vision evolve throughout your experiences in life?
Yeah, and so the Akashic records, which we both love, we
Yeah.
know they're huge for
Yeah.
self-discovery.
Yes.
And so I think because I had led a life that was a lot of what was correct, and I
Mm,
wanted to be successful. It wasn't like I wasn't living a life, that I thought I liked, but it wasn't one that brought me juice and joy. So I would do things like I'll stay in a corporate job because it's a good paycheck and I can get a nice house and take care of
true.
my kids and
Good point.
XYZ. And I was given this golden opportunity with cancer where it blew everything up, where you wouldn't
Yeah.
leave a job like that.
Right.
So, by going through and learning the Akashic
Mm,
records and going really deep on them, I had a great mentor, coach, teacher, and I was able to use the Akashic records along with the angels to find those parts that had hardened me a little bit,
mm,
that had stolen some of my joy.
mhm.
Those old hurts and pains that I didn't even know were
Yeah.
causing my heart to not be as open as it would have or it used to be. And so really I went into the Akashic records just to heal myself.
Oh, yeah. So
That
true.
was the whole reason. I
So
was like, I'm never
true.
going to do this for anybody else. This is just for me. And so I studied the Akashic records. And then, of course, because I was connected with the angels already, they came into play to help in the records too.
Yes.
So,
What I like about the records for me, and I would wonder the same thing for you. Like I worked with the angels also before I went into the records, but I also was and same with you. I'm an energy healer too, so it's interesting. I found that it was easier for me to bring in angelic energy and masters and everything while opening up the records,
I'm
right?
getting goosebumps while you're
Yeah.
talking. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's like it's
100%.
yes. It's like you can I love that it's like giving confirmation of it's for me, it was like it's able to channel it easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had always had a good connection and I'm very intuitive. I've done
Yeah.
angel card readings
Love
for,
that.
over 15 years and stuff. But it was that connection
Yes.
and then it's all one, it's all one. Angels, divine,
Yeah.
creator, God, all of it. And so when you're an energy worker and you're using the Akashic records and you're doing healings,
Yeah.
spiritual work and limiting belief healings, the energy just flows so beautifully. It's like you don't even have to work at it.
You
I
know
I don't do a thing.
right, right. So
I
true.
channel it and I let
So
it come
true.
through me and guide it. But once we realize that, it's there to help us,
Mm.
help others, and gosh, who wants to make anything harder than it needs to be? So
So true. For anyone that's listening, we both would definitely recommend like if you can learn how to read your own records, 100%. It's so eye-opening. So you just kind of brought it up a couple times about limiting beliefs.
mhm.
In your experience, how do these beliefs manifest and what is maybe one of your approaches to identifying and clearing these hurdles for either yourself or for your clients?
So, one that comes to mind real easily is somebody stuck in a job that doesn't bring them any joy, any
Mm,
passion. It's just paying the bills.
yeah.
And that is soul sucking. But
Yes.
that's typically, I mean, it really is. It's typically a limiting belief of this is all I can get. Now,
Mm,
of course, you have to be reasonable and, put your ducks in a row. Maybe you need more education.
right.
Maybe you need to network more, whatever it is. But there's nothing that says you have to stay here.
True.
And so a limiting belief for me that I've seen in my clients and even in myself is, well, I'm going to stay right here because the devil you know is better than the one that you don't know over
So
here.
true. So true.
So yeah,
I
I
heard
would
that when
work
I
with
worked in
them.
assisted living. I'm a nurse. And when I worked in assisted living, I remember we were hiring someone new and they're like, "Oh, do you want to know the devil you know or the devil you don't?" It's like, I don't know devils.
No, I don't like the devils either. But today, I guess my team is having me do cliches. That was my
I love
second
it.
one.
I love
Let's see
it.
if they have a third.
I think it's wonderful. So let me ask you this, and I know we've talked about this a couple of times. So being a cancer survivor, how has that life altering experience influenced the way you approach spiritual healing?
I believe fully and 100%. And oh, here's the third saying.
Oh
I'm going
my
to give it
gosh,
to
I love
you.
this. I love
So my great grandmother, who came from Italy alone at 20 years
yeah,
old, that's a whole funny story. We'll tell it a different day. But she used to say, in order for it to work, you have to believe.
so true.
And so my belief system lit up
Mm,
because I had an experience where there was no other reason that I should really be alive.
wow.
You know,
Wow.
I had stage 3, 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Wow.
I had lived with cancer for 4 years. It was not a treatable thing. You didn't need treatment. But once it went aggressive, it was like it could kill you.
Yeah.
And so I had friends that had to go get stem cell and CAR T. And, I know quite a few people that passed away from it. And so, yes, I took care of myself. I added alternative medicines and
Mm-hmm.
treatments in there. But I really feel like it was my belief
Mm,
that I could do this, that I was going to be taken care of. I remember kind of like feeling like I never understood depression,
yeah.
and there was a point because I'm actually was born a pretty fortunate person, and I've
Mm-hmm.
had a very nice life, even though it's had a lot of blow ups. But um, I never really lost my optimism or joy
Right.
until after cancer, but it wasn't all about cancer. It was
Right.
about my life.
Mm,
And I remember laying there thinking, I don't know if I want to go on another 5 minutes, in the heat of
yeah.
chemo and everything. I thought, who cares? Just let it go. And there was like a choice in there for me, like, do I just give up or do I get firm on my belief? Now, I know
Mm,
some people, there's not, it's just their story. That's the way that they're going.
true.
And I'm not meaning any disservice to
Of
anybody.
course.
It's not that you're not strong or you don't believe if you succumb to cancer. I'm
Of
not implying
100%.
that. But for me, it was a pivotal moment for me to go, no, I got to stay here. I was like, my daughter's only 14 at the time. I got a
Right.
kid, a 20 something year old kid at the time too. And I was like, no, I'm staying. I believe that with my faith and with the right actions, I can make a good life again. So,
I think you bring up such a valuable point in the power of belief and the power of really honing in on faith and the what we can't see, like the what we can't see, and truly tapping into that higher power. I think it's so important. I have a family member right now who has stage 4 cancer, and they were diagnosed a year ago, and they have such strong faith and such belief that they're going to beat this, that no joke, last week she went for a pet scan. You're
I
getting
have
chills.
goosebumps. Yeah.
No evidence of active disease. Like, I mean
Woo!
I mean,
That's
like, I have chills
beautiful.
too,
Yes.
and it's like, and
Yes.
I 100% attribute that to her belief system. And like you said, we're not taking away any disservice from anyone in what but her path, and she knows, just like and you knew in your heart, I still have more to do here. Like, and
Right.
I'm gonna fight this, and that's what she is doing. And God bless you both. Like, it's amazing. It's just, and I really, really, truly believe it's her mindset. She didn't go into victim mindset. She doesn't, she's very positive. She's very active. She's very like, okay, let's do this. Let's go.
Well, the doctors will even say that now. I hear, and you being a nurse and that,
Yeah.
you've heard this. You have two patients, both the same symptoms, both the same level of disease, and they
Yep.
may even have like similar physical backgrounds. one does remarkable because like maybe they had family
Right.
support,
That's the other thing,
they had
support system.
encouragement. Oh, I just
Yeah.
got goosebumps on that one. But yeah, the other person suffers and struggles and fades and they don't make
Yeah.
it. So yeah,
Yeah.
100% faith is so huge. I mean, if you don't believe in it, how can you think it's even going to happen?
So true. Like if you don't, it's like, well, we'll see what happens. Like I just couldn't imagine having that
No.
mentality or mindset of okay. Like I would have to really, like you said, you had to realign your belief system. You had to tap back in. You had to kind of pull yourself back up of, okay, I'm not going to let this become what defeats me. And I think
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, and for me too, it was also, like coming out of it,
Mm,
it was also a real conviction. And when I got into the Akashic records, I had to stop and think. So I had grown up very spiritual. I had a lot of gifts that I knew about and was
right.
using. And still I was down on my knees. And
Mm,
so I had to learn new ways to move ahead.
yeah.
And so that's why helping others has become really my passion with that, because if I had all these gifts and tools and skills, and I still struggled, what about the person that doesn't have the
So true.
support, that has not been guided in that? And that's where I think our passion is that we've struggled in life and we want to help others so that,
Absolutely.
here's a little tool to help you. Everybody's got to get their own way of using their gifts and their tools, but
Yeah.
people like you and I are like, don't suffer. Don't
Yeah.
suffer
Like
like us. Here's the book.
there's a saying that I learned from one of my spiritual mentors, and it's about working with your spiritual team. And she said, okay, if you're going to the grocery store, do you want to walk there or do you want to take the car that's in the garage? And, like, obviously, I want to take the car because
Exactly.
I can be lazy at times and I don't know how to
Right.
organize stores.
Well,
But
you
that's
gotta
usually
carry the bags back
right. That's
too.
usually your team. Like, and it's like ever since then, I'm like, yeah, hey team, what's up? Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. I
I know.
love
I
that.
like I talk about my team all the time. I know sometimes I have to tell people, I'm like, oh well, they said, my team said. I'm like, oh, okay, because I come with a group now.
We come with a posse. We
Our
have a
own posse.
posse. I
The
love that.
angel heaven posse.
Yes, absolutely. So you've dedicated your life to helping others manifest their dream lives. Can you maybe share one of your cherished success stories from a client or a student that has had a breakthrough?
Sure.
She sounds so
Think
serious.
about this.
Sure.
Let me think about this, and I may have to edit some of them. Sure. Okay.
I love this.
We'll leave all the names are out.
Yes.
So I had a client who was suffering from a physical skin irritation,
Mm,
but they were also in a dating situation that they really didn't want to be in, but
yeah.
they didn't know how to get out of. And so, what we were able to, through a couple of sessions in working and releasing, was her defense was to get this skin irritation so she could give herself permission to be at home and not having to deal with this person. So
Love
she didn't
this.
have to make a decision about them,
Yeah.
but she gave herself an out.
Mm,
And so over the course of our sessions, she was able to understand that, and the skin condition just cleared up.
yeah.
Because once she faced that, her body had
Right.
no need to give her that trigger. And our bodies, not
Keep
to,
the
to
score.
hijack that, but
Bodies keep the score.
yeah, your body talks to you. Your body wants to tell you. And if you keep
Yeah.
ignoring the signals and the symptoms, that's when it breaks down. I learned that in cancer.
I will say that over the last couple of months, I have been doing a little bit too much and spreading myself too thin. And my body was like, nope, you're taking a break. And it forced me into a hibernation for about a month and a half. So
Absolutely. That's
you
beautiful.
you have to understand, like, and it's like, listen, like what Dawn is saying, listen to what your body is saying to you because the body keeps the score. So
Yeah, and Rachel, to your point about that is that I think that, you and I are
yeah.
understanding and we're explaining it now to people, but society has been so focused on doing, doing, doing,
Yes,
doing.
always. What did you check off today? What did you check off today? What's
Right,
your to-do list?
right.
What do you mean hustle, 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 hustle?
And nobody's rewarded for sitting on the
No.
front porch with a glass of lemonade.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so
I know,
peaceful.
right?
Thank you. Like, just stop right there. I'm done. Goodbye. Like, it just sounds so peaceful
Right.
in the middle of
So
winter. Thanks a lot, Dawn.
it's cold here in Florida too, by the way.
New
But
York, okay?
yeah, I won't even complain. But yeah, and I think we've all been kind of desensitized to
Yes,
our bodies where we thought we had to do what our mind says all the
so
times, but
true.
the body's in charge,
The body's in charge. Yes, like you need to, like, it's interesting. Like, I was physically not able to get out of bed. Like, and then it's like, Rachel, what are you doing here? Like, stop. And I've had so many, like, I am somebody, yes, I'm a healer. I do Akashic records. I do a lot, but I love getting readings myself. Like, we all love that. And I mean, for years, they're like, you really need to. And I'm like, well, good. Like, and it's like, hello.
But right, but that was the thing. So then you did honor it then.
Yes,
And
eventually.
yeah, well, you honored it before you ended up on a wheel. A
Same. Thank
great,
you.
yeah, right.
Listen, I'm not going like Dawn.
My team went hard on you there. They're like, yeah, she does this all the time to herself. Sorry, Rachel.
I like your team. They're softy and they're telling how it is. And some people appreciate that, but it's right. I
Some
have to,
people.
some
That's
people,
true.
not all.
Oh, that's
It's,
cute.
it's like, us as readers and healers, that's another thing. Like, when people come to us, some people appreciate different styles, different approaches. Some people want, to be direct. Some people want a firm hand. I'm somebody who, tell me like it is. And cause we all know, like, you just need a, I'm
Some
having
of us like it like that. Yes, I'm
yeah,
like you with that. So that's why that came through.
yeah.
Now I do know when I have to be softer.
I love it.
Like
I like how
my
you even slow
children
it
have taught
down.
me that. My
I know
children have taught me words hurt, speak kindly, be
oh my gosh.
gentle.
Can I just say that I love this conversation because my son, he is 14 years old and he will be like, I don't like your tone. Can you can you just not talk to me like that? Your tone. And I'm like, what do you mean my tone? And then he's like, number one, I'm not one of your employees. Number two, you're being disrespectful. I'm like, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I think that
Puts me
is
in check.
these kids,
They're much
these
more
kids, but
these
no,
kids. They're
they have
much
really
more
taught me so much since
same,
they've gotten older and I've
same,
stopped and listened.
same. I
Yeah.
appreciate it when he talks to me the other day. I'm just gonna tell you a quick story. The other day we were at Barnes and Noble. My son loves going to Barnes and Noble. It's like his favorite place. And we were, I wanted to get a cookie because the ginger cookies are amazing at Starbucks. And it was a seasonal thing. And so, and he's like freezes all of a sudden. Now, mind you, he's a little like he kind of makes fun of what I do and whatnot. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. And he's like, we gotta go. We need to go right now. And I'm like, what? Cookies, and he's like, don't turn around. Like, so I got my cookies and we get to the car and he's like, the energy, so heavy, so negative. That girl behind me, not a fan. Like, and he's like, and he's physically wiping the energy off of
Oh, I
himself.
love it.
And I was like, oh, so what I do, it was a good confirmation for me. I'm like, good job.
He's getting it, and he's just going to make it for how it fits for him.
Yes.
To our point earlier,
Yes.
everybody's going to do it a little different.
In
He's
their
not
own
going to
way.
say, Mom, this is awesome what you do. He's going to
Not
be
at
like,
all. I'm
yeah,
okay
no.
with that. But
And
I was
me
like,
too.
I
Me
was
too.
like, one, good job in identifying that you didn't like the energy and that you knew that it had to be physically removed from you. Like, it was
That's very good insight. You've done a good job having him check in with himself, though.
Yes.
He's learned that.
Yes. So let me ask you this. You have a podcast, Out of the Spiritual Closet with Dawn and the Akashic Angel team. Tell us a little bit about that and where can we listen to it?
Sure. I am on all the major streaming services and on YouTube as well.
Nice.
I just started that up, and yeah, you can hear it there. I post on Facebook a lot with the clips
Nice.
and that, but it's a lot like yours. It's
Yeah.
just like-minded people.
Nice.
a lot of topics that, are out there now that maybe people don't quite understand. So just trying to bring some light on
Yeah,
spirituality and joy and
that's
help
perfect.
everybody just have a little bit more fun in life.
Yes, this can be a very serious time of life for sure. Oh my goodness, just thinking about it, I'm like, oh, oh my goodness.
Right.
So, for a fun twist, if you could have a one-on-one spiritual chat with any figure, historical or otherwise, who would it be? And maybe what would be one question that you would ask? I've
Mary
never asked this.
Magdalene.
Oh,
I had to, there was a lot of runners up there.
I love that.
Yeah. And I would ask her how she learned to forgive.
Oh, I love that.
Because I think that forgiveness
Mm,
is so huge, both for ourselves and for
yes.
others. And what I've learned about Mary Magdalene and
Mhm.
the legacy and all that is far different than what my Catholicism taught me. We'll just
Yes.
leave it at that. We won't
Yes.
bash anything, but yeah, I think her, and I find her kind of spicy, and I like
I Can
that.
I just say this is so interesting because before we got on, I was talking to Dawn about like what we were doing this today, and I told Dawn about how I did 2 sessions. Mother Mary came in the second session and she channeled in a very compassionate blue energy to be gentle on ourselves.
Oh, I love that. I love the Mary
I
energies.
love that. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
they're so soft and so pretty, and yeah, yeah, I
very,
just love
very
Mary
sweet and
energies.
compassionate. I love that. So before I ask you the last question, what and we are also going to be when this interview is up, Dawn does have a free meditation to connect with your higher self that I will be posting. And if anyone else wants to book a one-on-one, learn more about you, what is the best place for them to go to?
Sure, it's going to be the Patio. I have a Patio website,
Oh, nice.
domlatwis.patio, but I'll give you the link with
Okay.
that
I'll
too,
make
so
sure
we
to
could
link
put
it
it in
as
there.
well.
Yeah.
That. I love that. So, for our listeners who are deeply inspired by your transformative journey, what is a simple but actionable step they can take today to start steering their life in a soul satisfying direction?
To stop, center, take a few breaths, and be present.
Love that.
Because you can never figure out or juice up your life when you're living in the past or living in
Mm,
the future. So come right to this moment, right here in
yeah.
time, and then do an assessment. How do I feel? What's good? What's not so good? And then go for the easy wins.
Yeah,
I'm all about easy
go for
wins.
the low hanging fruit. I mean, honestly, when you said that automatically, my brain went stop, drop, and roll. I was
There
like,
you
fire.
go.
Like,
I like that.
I love that. Well, Dawn, it has been such a pleasure to connect with you today. Thank you so much for coming on the Spiritual Spotlight series. Thank you again.
Oh, Rachel, thank you so much. I so enjoyed you, your energy, and this fun conversation. So
You're so
thank you
nice.
so much for having me.